What is up guys, it is Lely and we are back with some more PES 2017 gameplay. Last match you saw me play as Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona. This time around I'm using Barcelona. So jumping straight into the video, and you can see me play about with the advanced defensive options. So you see me select, is it counter target, and what counter target basically is that you saw me select Suarez. So Suarez will now always stay at the attacking end of the pitch. He won't do any tracking back. So that saves his stamina, and basically I'll always have a threat up tops. So then I thought, hey, let me see if I can choose both defensive options as counter target, and will it allow me to actually select two different players, which it did, and will they actually, you know, both stay up there when I highlight them. So if you look at the bottom right of my screen, you can see I've got the two defensive options highlighted. So to highlight a defensive option on and off, all you do is hold L2 and then press left, right, up or down, and obviously that's to switch it on and off. So you can see right now I've got them both on, and look at that, the furthest two players up the pitch are obviously going to be my attackers, but they were higher up than probably normal. The one mistake I made in this test was not making Neymar and Messi both midfielders, because they're both wingers right now, so they're both going to stay high up the pitch anyway. But how I know it is still a good test and how it actually still was useful is the fact that whenever the opposition had the ball in their own half, so you know, I've got my players supposed to be tracking them down, Messi and Suarez stayed very static, and Neymar didn't really bust a gut, but he did make movements towards them. So I could tell that, you know, Messi and Suarez were under, you know, the actual influence of the defensive tactic. Also, by now you should have realized that I unhighlighted tiki-taka. So if you look at the bottom right, you can see that the red arrow going up isn't highlighted, so that would have been tiki-taka. I unhighlighted that straight away just to see if I can make Barcelona play very un-Barcelona like. So with me taking off tiki-taka and actually telling Suarez and Messi never to come back, you can see that I've kept the team like pretty much total opposite to tiki-taka, keeping them pretty much as far as possible. So you can see, you know, to very good effect that this Barcelona team isn't very compact right now. So at half time I do actually change it up a bit, but I was just testing things just to see how effective these instructions were, and I can definitely say that these instructions are very effective. And I don't mean they, you know, gonna win you matches, but they do what you ask it to do. A lot of you guys are asking me, can you highlight more than one instruction at a time? Well, right now I've got two highlighted at the same time. There are no restrictions to how many you can highlight at one time. You can have all four on if you want, you can have all four off if you want, you can have 3 on, 1 off, you can have 1 on, 3 off, you can do whatever it takes to float your boat. So going into the gameplay, and one of the biggest compliments I can give PES 17 over PES 16 is the fact that it just seems to make a lot more sense. So an example would be that in PES 16, somehow players like Sterling, Neymar, they just managed to get so many headers from corners and crosses. It just didn't make sense. They would jump or out jump Thiago Silva's, Vincent Kompany's and Sergio Ramos's. It just didn't make sense. You're thinking, first of all, how are you out jumping them, and how are you even strong enough to beat them when you collide in the air? In PES 17, the aerial duels seem to make more sense, not because in PES 16 the dueling system wasn't there. It's just the fact that now you actually do have more control while the ball is in the air. I think they've learned from the mistakes from PES 16 where the dueling, like I said, it seemed to exist, but you had very little control over it. Now you seem to actually have a lot more control over it, and that's why they seem to make a lot more sense now. That doesn't necessarily mean players like Aguero, Messi, Neymar won't be scoring headers. There are still a lot of deciding factors when winning an aerial duel, in the sense of the user can make a mistake. So if I was Messi and I'm attacking the ball and I'm up against Ramos, and someone else who's using Ramos decides to, you know, step too far forward, he'll miss the ball, I'll get a free header on goal. From a defender's view, if you've got a really strong defender and you don't step out of positioning too much, you can lean into the striker if you're behind them and, you know, push them forward, or if you're in front of them you can just back into them and you can win space like that as well. So it works both ways, in the sense that you can win position really well, or you can throw it away as a defender like just as easily as winning it. So there is a skill into either winning it or losing it as a defender as well. Like I said in the previous videos, I felt the passing was better in the previous build that I played 2 months ago, but again, the passing is still good. The one thing I actually noticed about this game was I actually preferred playing with Atletico Madrid. I just felt a lot more defensively sound, and the fact that in midfield I felt like I was playing with real men, so I could get stuck in. And that's one thing that in the last PES getting stuck in meant you were just going to slide tackle the hell out of someone and you could get away with murder in that game. But in this game, you can actually get stuck in as a real art and actually win the ball a lot by, you know, going in for these tough tackles and not giving away free kicks. So that is something that I'm pleasantly surprised about, because it offers you so many different ways of actually playing the game. Where the last PES is either you go for murder or you go for the long ball over the top. There wasn't really much middle ground or much variation in the style of play that you could do in PES 16. So going back into the video, and at half time you're going to see that I changed the defensive tactics to gegenpress and swamp the box. Now there are two tactics that don't really complement each other, because you're going to ask your team to press high up the pitch, and then when they break through that press, you're going to ask them all to suddenly fly back and get right in the box. So you're asking pretty much everyone to get back in the box. So that is taking the toll on a lot of players, especially the forward men. And I wanted to see if it actually took a toll on their stamina, and what, you know, when the stamina does go down, would it actually, you know, have an effect on the passing quality, which, to be fair, I think it really does. You'll notice it as well that towards the end of the match, you'll see a lot of the passes getting slower, some of them getting astray and things like that. Not like massively going astray, but you can notice that they're not going pinpoint where you want it to, and you can actually realize that it is because they are probably playing with tired legs. What you're about to see now is another reason why I find this game so enjoyable. The fact that not everything is so perfect, in the way that if Griezmann now is on he's a left footer, so he's about to take a shot on his right foot, and because he took it on his right foot, he ends up missing the target, and it's not by a whisker, he actually misses it by about a good yard. So you actually do see that from players, top class players in real life as well, but in PES 16 you never saw that, and that like lack of realism in PES 16 made that a very boring game, I'm not sure if that's a very unrealistic game, I might say. This has more of a natural feel, because I noticed I did it with Pogba as well. I took the ball onto his left foot, took a shot on, and the shot went a bit wide, and I understood why. I was like, damn, why did I end up taking it with his left foot? I should have kept it shifted onto his right. But you can see these sort of things matter in this PES, where in the last one it really didn't matter. Well, 99 times out of 100 it didn't matter. Now moving on to the referees, because you're going to see a very suspect call coming right now. To the naked eye it looks very suspect, and even this one still, the verdict's still out for me. I'm not sure if they made the right call here, but when you zoom in on most replays, you will notice there might be a split second where the foul gets called up because he touches the man just before he touches the ball, for a very split second. Like, you'll see a little movement in the opposition player's foot indicating that you touched him. This one was very hard to call. I say very hard to call, it's very hard to see where the contact was made. I think it was made on the shin or something, but that's what I mean. They looked very suspect to the naked eye. Most times, like, I very rarely actually went against the referee's decision thinking, oh, it's a bad call. The only moments, I say frustration, my only gripe with the referees are the fact that when they do make the right call in terms of pulling up the foul, sometimes I feel like they don't make the right call in terms of pulling out the right card. So yeah, I think it's a computer game, so they're not going to be so happy to give a straight red, but then sometimes you're thinking that should be a yellow card, and sometimes they don't give it, but at least they do give the foul now. But at least 8 times out of 10 they will give the right card. So that's one thing that I would like to say about referees. Another thing about the tackling issue is the fact that I think players get too injured in this game, which is a bit of a worrying thing for me. I don't know if it's this video, or it might be a video which I do with Sepp later, or PES Sepp that you guys might know him as, but you'll see that a lot of the challenges, they are meaty. There are some meaty ones which I think, alright, he should stay down, but then there are some where all I do is ever so slightly catch a player, and they're just stuck on the floor and they don't get up for ages. There's one 10-second clip, like I said, I don't know if it's this video or one of the other ones, but there's a 10-second clip where there's 2 players, one tackle after the other, they both stay down, and they're not challenges where you expect the players to stay down. So I'm not sure if I actually told them that. I did tell them that the players do actually stay down too often, so hopefully they address that for my club. Otherwise you'll end up with players suspended, missing games through injury way too often. That was one of my only other gripes really. We are coming to the end of the vid, and I know there's going to be a lot more questions thrown at me. The reason this isn't an entertaining style vid which I normally try to do nowadays, is the fact that I've just been bombarded with questions from Twitter, from my other last 4 YouTube videos that I've just uploaded for PES 17. If you haven't seen the tactics video that I uploaded, I'd really highly recommend that, because I go really deep into the tactics and it'll give you a lot more understanding on these advanced instructions. But yeah, if you got any questions, you just feel free to shoot down in the comment section, and I will obviously answer them in the comment section or in my next vid anyway. I haven't got info in terms of my club and how it runs. The only thing I have got is the Legends info, which I've already covered in that tactics vid. So in terms of game modes and things like that, they said they want to announce that at Gamescom, which is around, I think, August the 20th. And yeah, this last clip is just showing you guys that the refs aren't as stupid as before, where they forget about forget about fouls and not come back to book plays. They do that quite frequently in this one. So if you think you're getting away with a foul, that doesn't really happen. They normally come back to book you. So guys, before I go, remember, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And I want to say a massive thank you to all you guys, because it's your support that got me this invite to Konami, and that's why I'm so hell-bent on trying to give you guys as much feedback as I can and answer as many questions as I can. So hit me up on Twitter, in the comment section, anywhere, and if I see the question, I will try to answer it to the best I can. So guys, I hope you did enjoy it. Remember to give it a thumbs up. If you want more, remember to subscribe, and catch you guys later.